Hello and welcome to episode 222, and we do it for you, of the Veeam Community Recap. I'm Rick Vanover, back from PTO, doing fantastic, but I'm on the road. How are you doing today, Madalena?
Good day, Rick, and good day, community. I am doing well, except the heat wave, as I was mentioning earlier. We have 37 degrees in here, and yesterday was even worse. So that's not great. You really have to stay under the AC. So, other than that, keeping myself super busy preparing for the month in Latin America. I'm looking forward to meet the community in there, some new markets, and also some VUGs that we are preparing first in-person ones, Argentina and Ecuador. So quite busy. But yeah, it looks like you are very busy as well. You were in Paris, you met some VUG leaders as well as vanguards. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I've got a quite busy week this week. Started the day in Paris, as you said, the first part of the week, had some media interviews, and then today I traveled to Munich in preparation for tomorrow. We have the Veeam tour and some media interviews as well. Going to sneak in a dinner with some of our friends here in Munich, though, as well. And then I end the day and the week in London. But this weather is crazy. It's 13 here in Munich right now. So for those of us in my Fahrenheit world, 13 is about 55. And this is a summer day, and it's 3 in the afternoon. And I'm actually pretty good with Fahrenheit conversions. And Maddie sometimes gets impressed that I do that. So I'll check my work. 13 is 55. So I was pretty close. And, I was telling her it was 18 in Paris. And this was right after last week, that crazy heat wave. And then, in Ohio, we had 35, which is like 95 in Fahrenheit. So we had a pretty hot stretch, but it's reasonable at home. But I hope you get to cool down there, Maddie. Or I'm sure it'll be fine when you leave on your tour.
I hope as well. I mean, it should go a little bit down in the next few days because honestly, this is insane. And I don't know,
Yeah.
as I said it earlier, I don't know what's happening in Europe because it was like, as you said, like now you are in the 13, right? But 2 weeks ago, talking to Michael Melting as you
Michael Melting. Yeah.
Michael Melting, he was just saying like, yeah, we had a heat wave in here. We were like with 38. So it's insane. Like 2 weeks apart, you have like an autumn, almost winter day, and then 2 weeks. It's insane. I don't know what's happening to the weather. Actually,
It's crazy. I didn't even bring a coat. I brought a business blazer. I'm gonna have to wear that as my coat. It was actually cold out there. So yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
Anyways, you know what's crazy besides the weather is the quality of the content that we have to feature this week. So I am on one screen, so apologies for the little transition there, but I think you're seeing it now, right? Is that correct, Maddie?
Yes, that's correct. And we are seeing some great article in here from Johan
Yeah.
that's been quiet for a while. So great to have him back.
Yeah, indeed. We have chapter 17 of Johan's book, and what caught your eye for this week's one of the featured contents?
Oh, this is a really good one. Thank you, Johan, that you kind of return and you are sharing the good stuff with us because we definitely missed you in here. But this is the part two of a three-part series, as he said, and it's on designing resilient backup environments. And this specific section addresses an important aspect of it, the site level risks, like, disaster at a single location or simultaneous failures across multiple sites, lack of off-site or external storage. And then Johan goes over each of these disasters in details. For some, even gives us some examples in there. And, he says, hey, one location isn't really enough. And then if your entire backup system is in a single location, all your protections are at risk. And I have to agree with that. the redundancy requires more than just hardware, right? It requires some geographic separation. So good point in there. I really like that. And then you can think, okay, but like distributing infrastructure across two locations can improve availability. And that's fair. But what if both data centers are in the same risk zone? And then have you thought about that? Like he gives a good example with like some experience he had with two data centers of the company that were like basically different locations, but on the same kind of river, and there was a flood, and they lost all their data. So that's not really cool. Last but not least, he says, use external storage to mitigate site risk. And this definitely will add another layer of protection. And here he says, okay, you can choose it really from cloud object storage, tape vaulting, the choice is yours. Overall, really, really good one. And I know you like the images. I can
These
tell.
are awesome. These animated GIFs, these are fantastic. Yes.
But yeah, awesome article.
Yeah, indeed. Welcome back, Joe. I hope we are calling your name more. Chapter 17. And for those who are just checking in to the first time you've heard about his basics, first of all, they go pretty advanced. I wouldn't call them basics, but he has several chapters that are already been posted here, and then the related topics will guide you through. So thank you again, JMX. All right,
Yeah.
next up is Antonio DeAndrea. I did it. I'm very proud of myself. I did not call him the wrong name. But it's tricky. It's tricky, Madalena. You got an avatar, you got a screen name, you got their actual name. Sometimes there's a Twitter name, and then sometimes I mess it up. But Antonio D''Andrea has some tips on safety features from Security and Compliance Analyzer. What kind of stuff caught your eye here this week?
Yeah, I really like this one. Very interesting. And, he's starting by stressing that, with rising cyber threats, backup systems must now act as both data protectors, but also like a security enforcer. So in this article, what he's doing is exploring some integrated VBR features introduced in V12 that strengthened your backup infrastructure. And that is the Security and Compliance Analyzer. And the Security and Compliance Analyzer is doing two important things, he says in here. It's checking on the Veeam server security and then on the Veeam configuration security, which is fantastic. And this ensures basically that your backup systems are properly hardened, and then it's going to obviously minimize the exposure to threats. And he goes in very detail there over the server security controls and some configuration best practices. And he shows us how to run the analyzer and how to fix issues if there are any. And he says, okay, you can do it either manually or automatically via script. So very good, very long one. Really enjoyed it, and keep the good work, Antonio.
Yeah, Antonio, thank you for this. And probably the favorite one that I want to highlight here is getting this as a Veeam 1 automated report. So here's a quick look. And, so many of our environments, my lab, a lot of times there's a lot of red, right? But, you have the trail of improvements that when you make changes, you can see the improvement. So I really like this write-up here, especially with the opportunity to have the Veeam 1 report. Thank you, Antonio DeAndrea, also known as Andonet. So there we go. We talked ahead about this. I thought I was going to mess it up, but I did all right.
You did it great.
All right, now this is a pick for me. I picked this one up because our good friend Steve Hartzig, something that we featured a couple weeks ago, his file scanner with the data integration API has taken a super update. Okay. And I want to highlight the two cool things that caught my eye. Scan it on everything on the repository is new. I think this is cool because it's really moving beyond simple, like one system and things like that. So what I think is also relatively awesome about this is Retro Hunter, as Steve Hart is calling it. It gives you a nice kind of output of the audit result, right? So it's looking for all kinds of hashes and then some analysis of event logs and things like that. This is really, really cool. This is that really good, deep look. And Steve is, he says he's the main actor in his idea factory. And I absolutely love to see what he comes up with. So thank you for sharing this, Steve. I think everyone could go take a look here at it does go up on GitHub. Let me pull this up real quick and see if we have Retro Hunter. Exactly. So this whole thing is here. So it's ready to go, and check it out. So thank you, Steve Hart.
Absolutely. And check this one. But, if you just go to his repo on the GitHub, I would suggest just go and check all the great stuff that he's sharing in there, because this is not the only script that he's doing. But yeah, I agree. This is fantastic, and keep on sharing with the community. I'm sure it helps our community, and everyone is grateful for the great work you are doing, Steve. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And, he's now in product management, everyone. So these are little ideas that can, maybe find their way into products. So I love that he's tinkering in this manner. So good stuff, Steve Hart. All right, that's our top 3. And then we're going to go over to the Vanguard blog spotlight, and you picked a good one.
Totally. Veeam Data Cloud Vault. This is a very hot topic these days. And I think this is the first time we are actually mentioning Vladan to the VBS. So great job. Welcome to the recap, Vladan, and to the VBS section. This is a great article from Vladan on why Veeam Data Cloud Vault is a good solution for SMBs. And he talks about the fact that it eliminates the need for SMBs to manage complex, costly storage infrastructure, and it offers immutability, encryption, scalability, predictable pricing, which I think is very important, for like SMB that they have tight budgets many times, and minimal cost flexibility. So predictability is actually a very important factor for them. And then he talks cyber resilience by design and immutable storage. And it's fully aligned with the 32110 rule and the zero trust data resilience model. And then also, another important thing I think for SMBs, it's for all companies, but like especially for like a smaller, medium scale companies, it's a fully managed service, right? So it's built for fast, reliable recovery, and that is there's zero complexity with it. So I think that's really important. And then at the end, he's also sharing how to get started with it, and I think I like that because if people hadn't have the chance to try this product, there is a way to do it. There is the 30-day free trial of the Veeam Data Platform on the Veeam Data Platform Essentials. It comes with that. So I really recommend people, to just go there, try it, see if this is a good fit for you or not. It could be a good or not product for you. So great job in there, Vladan. Really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, indeed. And hopefully we can call your name more for the Vanguard blog spotlight. One thing I want to highlight is it's here in a way, but I want to explain something about Veeam Data Cloud Vault. So Veeam Data Cloud Vault is powered by Azure, but it's sold and delivered by Veeam. It is a Veeam specific type of Azure storage account. Okay, so it's an Azure storage account that you can only get to use Veeam backup storage in and out, and sold through Veeam or our partners, including service providers. Okay, but what's super important about how this is built, and I can let's zoom into these 2 very important points. The backups are encrypted in the vault as well as to and from. And then secondly, they're immutable. Now, what I want to highlight is that I don't know if everybody knows this, but I spend a lot of time talking to our tech support team in our centers here in Ohio and in Europe. And there's a special group in that team that focuses explicitly on ransomware. And this is different than, like, say, the Coveware team that does incident response. So I should clarify that. But this is a very important data point we learned. With all of our customers, we do not have a tech support case on record of a customer unable to recover data if their backup was in an immutable target, such as the cloud, and they had their encryption password. That is super powerful. And the fact that we built Veeam Data Cloud Vault on that logic is just fantastic. So just really think about that. No case on record of anyone unable to recover with encryption, password, and immutable. Really, really powerful. Anyways, sorry to go off on the soapbox a little bit.
Do we have a statistic on how many customers use this?
Like Vault, immutable. Yeah, we have the data ransomware trends report has some stuff around immutability and stuff, but I'm telling you, this is the way. If you don't have any immutable backups, that's an emergency, and this is an easy way to get started with that. So,
yeah.
Anyways, thank you, Vladan, and Vault is super important for us, and good to call your name out here on the spotlight, Vladan. Okay, special department news. I picked this one up. Luca DeLoca, which, if everyone doesn't know, that's Luca. He's a principal architect for our cloud business at Veeam. He's based in Italy, but he services all of EMEA. And actually, a little bit of true story history. Luca used to be on the team with me and a couple others. He took the role as cloud architect a couple years ago, quite a few years ago, but Luca's a dear friend of our team. And he has created the VCC book, the Cloud Connect book. And I just want to highlight what this actually does. So let's just take the reference design for target Veeam proxies. So the thought here is that Luca, when he guides customer or service providers through their implementations, I guarantee you this is what he hands off to them of how they need to architect their implementation. So if you're a service provider and you want to kind of match this against a service provider best practice, highly recommend you check this out. So thank you, Luca, for doing updates here for 12.3, the main version of Veeam backup and replication. This is fantastic.
Absolutely. Great resource for all VCSPs out there, that they want to offer backup as a service, disaster recovery as a service to their customers. So fantastic one. Thank you,
I'm
Luca.
pretty sure he's an MVP as well.
You didn't mention that Luca is an MVP.
Yeah,
right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's an MVP. I mean, he used to be on our team, so he would be kind of in the program of sorts, but now he's in this other role, and he qualified for MVP, and stuff like this is absolutely how you could qualify. So thank you so much, Luca. All you service providers out there, check that out. All right, 2 more pieces of special department news, both from me. I want to let everybody know that KB 4514 took an update, not just in the date, because they also talk about the intended audience, but the update is the normal update that I talk about here, that if your Veeam backup and replication server is not connected to the internet, this file takes updates, and it is now on version 107. The last time I featured it, it was on version 105. So this KB explains how to do it, but again, if you're not connected to the internet, I highly recommend that you update this file. It tracks all the threats, indicators of compromise, yada, yada. Good stuff. All right. Sorry I'm talking so much, Madi, but I added a lot to the show today.
That's great, because I usually have so much, and, it's good for from time to time to let the lights be on you with this special part.
No. Well, that, and we're recording a day early. So this is actually recording on a Tuesday. So there's that too. Last piece of news, I just want to let everyone know that the 2025 Gartner Magic Quadrant for backup and data protection platforms is out. We did great, and we're real happy about this. Look at the ultra zoom you can do. So you can really take a look at all the different positions of the vendors that have been mentioned, and I highly recommend you read it. Read the whole thing. They have some things about Veeam, including some cautions. And I did a couple YouTube shorts walking through the cautions and the strengths. But you can download the report right here and check it out on your own. Highly recommend that you do that. And we're back because I don't have Who's New because we are recording a bit early today. But let's see. I don't know what next. When do you leave for Latin America, Madi?
Oh, there's still a while. The 19th of August, already booked the flight, but there is still
like
more
a month. Okay.
Yeah, but we have to prepare. We are working with the regional team because we want to have a booth in there and everything, a community booth. I mean, so we have to get ready for it.
So I don't know if it's confirmed, but in one of the Latin America events that Sophia and I are going to go to, I'm not going to say where. I don't want anybody to get expectations up. Instead of a booth, we might have a community coffee cart. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not, but that sounds pretty awesome.
I think it might work. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know if maybe we can get the barista in the Alfred outfit or something, but that might be a little hard to pull off. But we'll maybe let's start with stickers and clings. Let's start there. So
yeah, let's see. That would be so cool. Learning process.
I don't want to steal Sophia's secret, so I'm not going to say where, but it was an idea, and I said, heck yeah, let's do it. Let's source it. Let's figure it out because I think it's a nice additional experience that you can have. So
yeah. Cool. No, that's pretty cool. I like it.
All right. Anything else on your side before we wrap?
Nothing much on my side. I mean, I think we had enough great content to share, and hope everyone is going to appreciate it. Let us know in the comments. And I guess next week you're going to be back in normal circumstances.
That's right.
Okay.
In fact, I don't have any more work travel till my next vacation.
Ooh, and that's the end of July.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was talking with some of the team members. It's like I really take a lot of vacation. I don't know. Let's see how much I can get away with. But yeah, we'll be back in normal circumstances next week, everyone. Stay tuned for episode 223. Thanks, Madi, and we'll see you all next week.